Hey guys, Sarah here with our new Kota Pro Adhesive now coming on rolls. This gives you the ability to add it to anything such as acrylic sheet stock, leatherette, woven fabrics, embroidered patches, anything your heart desires that you can put together with some heat. So it's gonna come in some two widths. We're gonna have a 12-inch width and a 24-inch width. And then the 4 different lengths. We got 1 yard, 5 yard, 10 yards, and 25 yards. This 1 yard is really good if you're gonna cut it into like some smaller pieces, such as like embroidered patches or anything like that. Otherwise, these 12 and 24 are kind of made for these quarter-size sheets of acrylic. So I have a 12-inch roll width here that I'm gonna apply to this Duets piece of acrylic sheet stock. Now, the best way would be with a heat press if you had such like for your sublimation or a t-shirt press and you had the right amount of width that would cover all of this. But don't let that hinder you because you can also use just like a hand iron like this. It's going to be a little slower process, but you'll still be able to get that adhesive onto your material, ready to then adhere to another piece for your final product. So I have my 12-inch roll here. I'm going to roll it out from edge to edge here. I don't want too much excess hanging over because it is adhesive, so it'll just kind of melt and either roll off onto the towel I have underneath, or if you have it in a heat press, it'll melt onto your heat press. So I have my substrate face down. That's the side I would engrave. The back here, and then I have my adhesive shiny side down onto my substrate. I'm a little deeper into my roll, so it's kind of rolling onto it. So you want to hold it down here, go to my corner. Now I found with like this harder substrate, such as this acrylic, when using the iron, to use something like a Teflon sheet, and that's just going to give you the ability to have a little bit more control with moving it and giving that even pressure all the way across the sheet as you're moving. So I have it at my hottest temperature here. We're going to guess that it's 200, but there's no temperature control. But your press, you're going to want from 200 to 210, and then you're going to press for 10 to 12 seconds. But when we're manually doing it here, it's just kind of going to go off your feel. So like I said, this Teflon sheet is going to give us the ability to kind of move it a little smoother. If you had it directly applied to this white part, it might not move quite as smooth. And this, like I said, is just going to give us a nice, smooth, even finish. And we're going to go around the whole sheet. I'm not pressing down too hard, just kind of more floating across it, just a little bit of pressure, going all the way across. Then back down, getting all the wrinkles out. Just like if you were ironing just your normal clothing. I'm going kind of slow motion, and I have across the bottom, down the middle. Like I said, just even pressure and then evenly across the whole sheet. This Teflon has helped kind of avoid any of these bubbles and wrinkles. You want the least amount of bubbles and wrinkles. You are gonna have probably a few just with this hand method like this. Again, the press is going to be your most even, consistent pressure, and obviously a lot faster. But a sheet like this, or say like a smaller embroidered patch where you're just cutting off a little square, just some quick heat from an iron just to get it applied to your first substrate, then you're ready to press it onto the final piece. So I have it on there. This looks pretty good. This plastic with the heat, it is going to bow a little bit. So I'm going to put it on my cooling table over there with some weight on it, just so as it cools, it doesn't keep warped like that. So now I'm here with one of my cooled down piece. I have that one that I just pressed here, cooling down on my table with some weights. This piece we had already cooled. It's nice and flat. Then it's ready to put into our laser. So we're going to put it into our laser like this, and we would engrave whatever it is that we want. Have that adhesive side down. This transfer sheet here, this is okay if it falls off. It is nice to have it on there just to keep it away from some dust and debris on this stuff, but this isn't going to be tacky until you heat it again. So once we have some patches and whatnot cut out, then we can then apply it to a hat, a shirt, whatever it may be. This type of, these bubbles and these marks and all this, that's okay, as you're going to make it into these smaller pieces, and then it's going to get that second application of heat when you're putting it on the final thing. And then you'll get that nice strong bond that Kota Pro Adhesive is all about. So if you do have a heat press capability in your shop, that's obviously going to save you some time. And then it actually is going to be a little bit more consistent than that hand method, but both definitely would work. So this, I just have a nice 9x9. This is a little more manageable piece actually, and this is going to give you less bubbles and all of that compared to that full quarter sheet. So I have the substrate engraving side down, and then I have my roll here. And you're gonna wanna cut it to the size, to the exact size again. Again, you don't want much hanging over. It's almost better to cut it a little short just so you don't have any of that excess adhesive getting on your press or anything. Now I have my heat press set here at 200 degrees, and then I'm gonna press it for 10 seconds. Again, that's gonna give you the most even kind of pressure, nice smooth finish compared to that hand iron method. Both very suitable methods though to get that adhesive applied to your first substrate and then ready to get onto your second one. I'm gonna have this one cool and get some weights on it so we don't get any of that bowing that might happen with that acrylic. Get your hands on one of these rolls today and see what kind of projects you can come up with. Any questions, give us a call at the number below or visit us online at jdsindustries.com.